I hereby announce that this meeting is being held in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Open Public Meetings Act. Proper notice of the meeting dates has been given to the Morris Newsbee, the Morris County Daily Record, and posted on the bulletin board in the Borough Hall. This meeting is a judicial proceeding. Any questions or comments must be limited to the issues that are relevant to what the board may legally consider in making a decision, and decorum appropriate to a judicial hearing must be maintained at all times. May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Baza?
Here.
Mrs. Cortez?
Here.
Mr. Eppen?
Here.
Mr. Carr?
Here.
Mr. McCabe?
Here.
Mr. Webster?
Here.
Mr. Schultz? Mr. Rizos? Mr. Ciencia?
Here. Okay. Before we get going, I'd like to make an announcement. First, I'd like to thank my colleagues on the board for entrusting me with being the chairman. I appreciate it, and I will try to uphold Mr. Schultz's legacy here. With that, I'd also like to echo the comments made by my colleagues on the board last meeting in thanking Chairman Schultz for his leadership over these many years and his dedication to the town, and personally for his mentoring of myself and for him agreeing to stay on as vice chairman for the next year. I think it's very, very commendable in everything that Dave does for this town. So I just wanted to make mention of that and echo what you guys had said before. So thank you for entrusting me, and thank you to Dave. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the February 23rd reorg. Does anybody have any comments or corrections on the minutes as been distributed?
I have one correction.
Okay.
Page 3 at the bottom where it says is greatly appreciated. Appreciated is misspelled.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank
Does
you.
anybody else have anything? If no, do I have a motion to approve the amended typo?
Motion to approve?
Second?
You got Bart and Mike Buzz.
Okay. Roll call? Okay. Mr. Baza?
Yes.
Mrs. Cortez?
Yes.
Mr. Eppen?
Abstain.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Abstain.
Mr. Webster?
Abstain.
And Mr. Ciencia?
Yes.
Okay, at this point, we are going to open up the comments from the public to speak on matters other than what's on the agenda today. Is anybody in the public here? Seeing none, we'll close that section. Do we have any correspondence or bills?
Yes, we do. We have one purchase order number 202-60451 to Anderson and Densler, 383 Ridgedale Avenue, P.O. Box 343, East Hanover, New Jersey, 07936, in the amount of, for engineering services, invoice number 3254 dated March 4th, 2026, in the amount of $96.70.
Is there anything else? Does your reading constitute a motion?
It does.
Does anybody second?
Second.
You got that, Karen?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We need a vote.
You want to vote?
Yeah, we have a motion and a second, we need to vote on it.
I know, well, sometimes they voice vote.
Well, we can do it by voice vote, we can say all in favor.
All those in favor? Say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? All right.
Okay.
Okay, under the agenda, we have new business is the 2025 annual report. Dave Schultz is writing that report, so we should be getting that prior to the next meeting. Okay, now we're at our application for the day, for tonight, BA 425, Jamie and Jennifer Dorsch.
Mr. Chairman, my name is, for the record, Remo Ekuda. I'm the attorney for Jamie and Jennifer Dorsch, who are here tonight. And we're ready to listen to the completeness reports.
Okay. Mr. Ryden, should we look at your memo of March 18th?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I submitted my report dated March 18th, 2026. The board, you should all have copies. In that report, I determined that the application is complete, and it remains for the board to affirm that.
Okay. Liz, do you,
Yes, I had some, I came to the same conclusion as Mr. Ryden. I had a couple of outstanding issues I had raised in my letter, which I've gotten clarification from, but I may just put it on the record right now.
sure.
Which is that in looking at, they need variances for, just for building coverage and lot coverage, but my understanding was, with the building coverage, I thought they had miscalculated, and really the new expansion of the building is going where driveway was completely, so although the building coverage is increasing, the lot coverage is not, because it was already impervious, but, it's where it, it didn't used to be part of the building coverage, and now it is, because it's where the building is.
So what is the building coverage variance that's being sought?
So,
How many square feet?
I believe,
tell you.
yeah, go ahead.
They're looking for 2,842 square feet, whereas 2,569 is permitted.
Right, but that's what was in the report, so what's changed with that?
Nothing's changed.
No,
Okay.
that was what was in their report. In my report, had put a different number because I had added
Okay, so Mr. Ryden's report with that number is correct.
correct, and that's correct with their plans as well.
And is the lot coverage number 7,282 square feet?
No, that's not the right number. It's 67,
47.
6747.9 proposed versus 5139.6 allowed.
Okay, could give me the proposed number again, please?
6747.9.
Thank you.
And they currently have 7,010.
Right.
Three.
So they're reducing it, but it's still over the.
It's still over the 51,
Which is why they're better.
56. And in your letter, Liz, where is that, which number?
It's on page 5, and it's also in the number, it's number 2 on page 6.
Okay.
And then the rest of my comments remain for now.
Okay. So then you agree with Bill?
No, it doesn't, but I just,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You agree with Bill, though?
That it is, I
could-
recommend completeness.
Okay. Does any members of the council have any questions? The board, I mean? Okay, can we have a motion to deem the application complete?
Motion to deem the application complete.
Second.
Roll call when you get a chance, Ken.
Okay. Mr. Baza?
Yes.
Mrs. Cortez?
Yes.
Mr. Egan?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes.
Mr. Webster?
Yes.
And Mr. Cianciano.
Yes.
Okay, so the application has been deemed complete. We would normally move into the public hearing.
So I apologize for we're not gonna be able to move forward. Our architect couldn't come, and Elizabeth has raised two issues that we can't address right now with our architect here, plus the fact that we noted that the plans indicate it's an entertainment room, it's not an entertainment room, it's really a bedroom, and there was some kind of miscommunication between the applicant and the engineer, architect regarding that. So that needs to be changed, and plus we need to confirm, and we can't do this because I haven't been able to reach the architect for the last couple of days, as to numbers 3 and 4. So we wouldn't be able to proceed without being able to answer all those questions. So we decided that, we really should be able to provide you with this information and not having it, plus we probably would provide a revised architectural plan to address the issues that that Elizabeth raised, and eliminate the the office is going above the
Oh,
garage.
all right.
But what they wanted to, the garage is gonna be a bedroom for, they have an elderly mother, and that was supposed to be that, somehow or another that got screwed up
Okay,
with the architect.
so you're asking to carry over to.
Please, yeah, we noticed,
We'll take care of that. Karen, what's the next meeting?
Excuse me, say that again, Mr. Sullivan?
The next meeting
Next
date is
meeting.
April.
Next is April 27th.
Okay, so we need a motion to carry this matter to April 27th, 2026, 7:30 PM with no further notice.
So moved.
Okay, so Mr. Bowser and,
Mark, Mr. Carr, and Mr. Bob.
okay? Okay, Mr. Bowser,
Yes.
Mrs. Cortez,
Yes.
Mr. Ethan,
Yes.
Mr. Carr,
Yes.
Mr. McCabe,
Yes.
Mr. Webster.
Yes.
Mr. Cienciano.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good luck with your position.
And we're all clear when submittals have to be made for that next meeting?
Yeah, well, 10 days before, is when, we'll get a new architectural plan in, hopefully a lot before 10 days. I would just, could get.
Well, we'll see you next month.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have an update on the discussion that we had at the 2 weeks ago, the planning board meeting regarding the checklist that was revised and proposed.
Excellent.
Most of the comments came from Sue McCluskey,
Okay.
and they used to go down the list and what was discussed and what was decided on.
Excuse me, just move it a little bit closer to
How's that?
that.
It was recommended that the application should be notarized, and our attorney agreed that that was a recommended advice given to the applicant. That timetables should be included reflecting how many days the board has to review each application. A very important item, which I think was discussed ad nauseum, was adding a glossary to explain various terms that the applicant may not be familiar with. A requirement that the applicant confirm that they had public sewer and water. That's just to make sure that the town requires public sewer and water, that there weren't any deviations for that requirement. The recommendation that the town have their professionals at the meetings. There was a comment made that maybe they shouldn't be at meetings, and there was a discussion about the fact that it would be advisable to have them at the meetings to address any questions that come up. That any waiver requests made by the applicant, we would advise them to have their professionals present their arguments for the waivers and why they would be recommended. That we include something along those lines in the checklist.
They do that now.
I mean, that's currently the practice.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the applicant requests waivers from the checklist.
Right.
And our professionals sometimes will comment on that, whether they think it's a good idea or not, but then the applicant says, we need a waiver because of this. And that's been the practice.
In the practice?
Yeah.
I guess they wanted that included in the application.
But the board grants the waivers.
Correct.
Yes.
I mean, it's up to
Yes,
us.
yes, no, it's up to us. But they
And the
have-
reason I'm bringing that up, Art, is because I remember we talked about that with Dave, being crystal clear that,
Yeah.
they ask for waivers, we get recommendations, but the board is always.
So that wasn't debated. In fact,
Yeah.
they just proposed that they have professionals to explain why those waivers were necessary.
So,
They have professionals or we have professionals?
Not we,
They.
the applicant would have professionals.
Okay, so, okay, seems like you're doing double work, right? If someone's explaining it, someone else has to explain it.
Well, not so much, if those waivers are not requested by our professionals, it's a waiver requested by the applicant, then
Right.
they should have to defend why those waivers are necessary.
Well, right. Now, our professionals aren't gonna request waivers.
Right.
It's gonna be the applicant that requests the waivers.
Well, in some cases, they do
Well,
recommend waivers.
But the applicant requests the waiver,
Right.
and then our board professionals may comment and may recommend granting of the waiver, but ultimately the board then decides the.
Right.
But they're suggesting that the applicants bring their professionals to justify why the waivers are
Waivers.
needed.
But I thought the whole idea behind streamlining this was that we would get theoretic, the streamlined application in which there would be, they would ask for waivers. It would go to the professionals would send that letter as their opinion, and in the perfect world, like everybody's agreed to,
Right.
then you don't need the professionals at the completeness hearing. But now they're saying, the recommendation is that we have Bill and Liz, or at least one,
Right.
here for that.
Yes, but if they don't agree to the waivers.
That's
then-
different,
Yeah.
that's different.
Can you go back and say who again is stating this?
Well, this was a request that was made, one of the comments was made by Sue McCluskey. And she recommended,
She never asked for all of this?
she had like 14 items that we went through that she requested.
So, but at the end of the day, there'll be the package, if you will, the new application that has to get voted on.
Right.
Okay. Is there more part on that?
There was one clarification, there were other suggestions that were being asked to be included in the checklist, but it was made clear that the fact that some of these items were not included in the checklist doesn't mean that we couldn't ask for these
Sure.
items after the application is considered complete, which was a major point, they made a lot of.
Yeah, the municipal
Other-
land use law is clear on that. It
Yeah.
says, even if you have a complete application, the board can still ask for additional information.
So if I want an application, I wanna put a deck on it, what am I gonna do? I gotta validate that there's public sewer and water?
Well, a deck wouldn't necessarily require that certification.
I agree, that's why I was,
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was a blanket, every application has to have this stuff.
That was in reference to the utilities.
Okay,
And
so it'll be,
tailored to the specific application.
okay. I'll be curious to see the finished product.
Anyway, the timelines are as follows, the committee agreed, or it was recommended the committee include those changes by April 3rd, and have a prepared document at that time, at which time the planning board and the adjusters would make their comments by April 13th for presentation to the planning board by April 20th.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see it. Hopefully it achieves its goal of streamlining this process, especially for, some of our applicants that are putting in very straightforward applications.
Yeah.
Not getting inundated with paperwork.
That's it.
Well, thank you for the update. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Is there any other old business that we need to take care of? If not, we're out.
You need a motion to adjourn.
Son of a. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.